Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Today is all about the lashes. I'm not so much into false lashes. I know many people are. I kind of think they're actually great, but oftentimes I just can't be bothered. And so I tend to focus much more on mascara. And when I find a good mascara I like, I definitely want to talk about it. Today's video might also be helpful even if you are a fan of false lashes but don't want to put them on every day, or maybe you're going for a lighter makeup look or a more easygoing no makeup look, and maybe false lashes wouldn't fit the style that you were going for that day. So it really becomes important to know what might be a really good mascara or technique so that you don't always feel compelled to have to wear false lashes. Again, like I said, I tend to be more of a natural lash girl, but that doesn't mean I don't work the mascara either. So today is going to be kind of two short videos kind of in one. I am going to review the L'Oreal Miss Manga ROCK Mascara. That would be this guy right here. And then I'm going to talk about how I use it during my two-step mascara application process, because, you know, I don't want to be as complicated as false lashes, but I need to make sure that my mascara application on a daily basis involves two steps, because I'm complicated that way. Anyway, so if you'd like to see my thoughts on the Miss Manga ROCK, as well as how I like to apply my mascara every day, then keep watching. So like I said, the Miss Manga ROCK Mascara was put out by L'Oreal, and if I had to give a generalized opinion about who I thought to be the best mascara brand at the drugstore, I would hands down pick L'Oreal. Although I will say over the years that Maybelline and CoverGirl and Physicians Formula have really stepped up their game. But as far as longevity and consistency, I really feel like L'Oreal has done an amazing job with them with their mascaras. Case in point, everybody's familiar with the Voluminous Mascara. This one's in the Carbon Black. It's been around forever, cult following, and you know, even if you use a million other tubes of mascara, you should always have one of these regardless. You know, I'm a big fan of the Voluminous Million Lashes. I'm really impressed with that one. Then they also came out with the Butterfly Voluminous Mascara in this kind of fancy little shiny tube. I really like that one. They came out with the Intensa version, which had the red top, which kind of amped up what was already a really good product and just the plain old Butterfly one. And so, oh, and I'm also a long-standing fan of the Telescopic Mascara, which I'm actually going to talk about in detail in just a few minutes. So, L'Oreal on the whole, I typically am not ever disappointed with what they wind up putting out for mascara. So every time they release something, I get very excited. So let's talk specifically about the Miss Manga ROCK. So they had a Miss Manga right prior to this, the one that was in the pink tube, and the tip of the wand was very flexible. And I was like, I need way more control with that. I almost feel like I've got like a twitch or something trying to put that mascara on. So I was definitely doubtful about this when I saw that it was another Miss Manga, but they've kind of changed that. The tip of the wand is not nearly as flimsy or shaky as the last one was. So let me just say that they call this the Voluminous Miss Manga ROCK, and they're not joking, because this is crazy volume. If we check out the wand itself, you can see that there's a spacing of very wide bristles. So in order for a mascara wand to actually build volume, the bristles need to be far apart. The further apart they are, the more product they can hold. The more product they hold, the wider your lashes and the thicker and the more voluminous your lashes are going to look. When you look at this wand, you're like, holy cow, those bristles are so far apart. And that's kind of the first sign to know whether or not you're going to get some volume in your lashes, is by looking at how wide the bristles themselves are. Another thing that you may or may not like about the formula itself, which I happen to love, is that it's what people call a wet mascara. The formula, the mascara itself, is very wet in nature. This actually is a good thing. I think people have an intolerance for it because it can get messy. If a mascara formula is wet, it is less likely that it is going to flake or crumble or peel as you continue to apply your different coats of mascara. And so even though a wet formula can be a little bit messy, quite frankly, I find that it's way easier to work with and gives you much more flexibility in determining how wide and voluminous you want your lashes to be. So with the Miss Manga ROCK, the wide set bristles as well as the wet formula of mascara are the two things that I really, really like about this mascara. All of this time prior to the release of this mascara, I had another mascara that I was using kind of all of the time, and it was really expensive, but I feel now that it is super similar to the Miss Manga ROCK, and I think I'm actually going to make the statement that the Miss Manga ROCK is a drugstore dupe for this is the Dior Show Blackout Mascara, which a lot of people don't talk about very much. Everybody talks about the Dior Show, and that's the one that's got that huge wand on it, which I think is amazing. I think it should like be framed and like put on a desk. I just think it's so fun when it comes to mascara wands. But I have always preferred the Blackout one, which is the much more intense version of the Dior Show. But it has the same two qualities that the Miss Manga ROCK has. So for example, the bristles on this brush are also very wide apart, which accomplishes that goal of depositing a lot of product so that you can build a lot of volume. And the other thing with the Dior Show Blackout Mascara is that it is also very wet in nature. The formula itself is very wet and I like it for all of those reasons that I just mentioned about the Miss Manga ROCK. And I'll say this, if you told me that the Dior Show Blackout would no longer be available, although I would be very sad, I would still be calm because I know that the Miss Manga ROCK would be available. So I think that's kind of the test to determine whether or not it's a dupe or not. So now that I've told you why I really love the Miss Manga ROCK mascara, let me explain to you how I use it in my two-step mascara process. In my own personal opinion, I really don't believe that a mascara can both lengthen and volume. And yes, it can do each of those things to some extent, but I don't think that it can both lengthen and volume really well. Because in order to, like I just talked about, in order to build volume, you have to have bristles that are wide set apart. Well, if they're wide set apart, they're less likely to be able to give you some length. And so, although you can definitely get it done with one mascara and both lengthen and volumize your lashes, I just don't think a mascara trying to do that will do either of those things really, really well. And so I apparently decide that I need to, I guess, bring some complication to my life, because then I use two separate mascaras to accomplish both of those goals, lengthening and volumizing. So whether you're going for a look that's natural or that's really dramatic, like for evening or party or whatever, you can still actually utilize the two-step process to gain both length and volume, but you can just do it to different degrees. So I use the two-step mascara process whether it's for a daytime look or a nighttime look. I can just intensify the look by adding additional coats of mascara or working a little bit harder to build some length. But you can actually get a very natural look or a very dramatic look just by doing some subtle changes. So for a very long time, I have used the Loreal Telescopic Mascara in the Carbon Black. It is an amazing lengthener. It's actually one of those combs, which really doesn't look like anything when you pull it out of the mascara tube. And in fact, this is what the deal is with lengtheners. You know, the bristles on the lengthening wand are very close together because you're not about depositing the product all the way through your lashes. You want to deposit more of the product at the end of your lashes. Typically, but not all the time, but typically a lengthening formula will have some form of fibers within the formula in order to create length to your lashes where there actually is no lash. You know, where your lash ends, it actually extends it out a little. It's like a little, this is what it looks like. There's like, the formula will extend your lashes out beyond to where they naturally go. And so the L'Oreal Telescopic in the comb form, does a really good job of having close set bristles that pull the mascara through your lashes and then beyond them and give them incredible looking length. The key with lengthening, I have found, is to avoid the wiggle. You know what I'm talking about? The wiggle at the base of your lashes, where you put the mascara on and you wiggle and then pull up, and you wiggle and then you pull up. See, no, not when you're lengthening. When you're lengthening, I feel you don't want to be putting the product at the base of your lashes. The formula is meant to lengthen, not necessarily to volumize. And so with step 1, I want to distribute even product on my lashes from the base to the tip and beyond. And so I simply take the wand and bring it up. And just bring it up, there is no wiggle. But we're not getting rid of the wiggle, just wait. So now after I've lengthened my lashes, give it a couple seconds or whatever to dry, now I can go in with as many coats actually as I want of my volumizing mascara, in which case right now I'm using the Miss Manga ROCK. Clearly, otherwise I wouldn't be making this video at all. So after I've lengthened my lashes, now you can do the wiggle. You can take your mascara wand, and in this case, right, it's like this really chunky guy with the wide set bristles and lots of mascara product. And you want to, when you're going in as a step 2 to volumize, you want to concentrate the product at the base of your lashes. You don't want super thick lashes all the way at the end, because then you start looking really, really spidery. And I think that look in and of itself is actually really cool if that's what you're going for. Most people are not necessarily going for that. I personally don't try to attempt that or go for that. So that's why when I come to step 2 in volumizing, I want to make sure that I deposit most of the product at the base of my lashes, where I do the wiggle. You do the wiggle and lift, the wiggle and lift. And I don't even go all the way up through the end of my lashes. I want my lashes to be thinner towards the end, because that's what natural lashes do. So I'll only go up about 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the way up my lash with the volumizing mascara, because that will be the best way to mimic what natural lashes look like, except they'll be much longer and much thicker than what my natural lashes look like. But you get what I mean, right? So the Miss Manga ROCK works so good as a step 2 to volumize, because again, I go back to those wide set bristles. It doesn't wind up peeling off or pulling off that first coat of lengthening mascara that I've already put on. It actually, the bristles are wide enough that it can still surround my lashes as I drag it up and as I pull it up. So I still keep the lengthening mascara in place. I just thicken now what I've already put in place without, like I said, without kind of ruining that step 1. I've had happen in the past where I've had a mascara that claimed to be voluminous, yet when I would go in, even just as its own second coat or, whatever, I would wind up peeling off the previous coat because the bristles were not wide apart enough, and would basically, it's like you're scraping off with a fine tooth comb the mascara that you had already applied. And so that's why the Miss Manga ROCK is just really, really good. And I love it for that reason, because I can now add volume and build layers and coats of mascara and not ruin what I had already just done. Who wants to do that? So that was a lot of conversation about mascara. And I think I said wide set bristles, I don't know, like 20 times. That's what it felt like anyway. So I apologize for that, but that is really one of the key features that I really, really love about the Miss Manga ROCK Mascara. But like I said, some people really like the look of false lashes, and I think they're great. But for days where you're trying to go a little bit more low-key, or when you just don't feel like being bothered with applying false lashes, I think you can get really amazing looking lashes with the ones that you perhaps already have, as long as you're using the right tools. And in this case, I think the right tools are a 2-step process that involves lengthening and then volumizing. And even then, you have to make sure you have the right mascaras and bristle wands in order to get that job accomplished. So thank you for hanging out with me today and hearing how I like to do my lashes. I hope it was informative for you, and although I don't expect anybody to exactly replicate the way that I do it, perhaps there was a tip or two in there that you might find useful. If I were stranded on a desert island, mascara would definitely be one of the top 10, top 5, top 3 things I think that I would have with me on that desert island, because I feel naked without my lashes. Mascara is definitely something that I do every day, even if I do minimal other makeup. I'd probably say that I would use concealer, mascara, and then I would get like a lip gloss that I could also put on my cheeks as a little bit of color. So mascara definitely is the first thing I always reach for, even if I'm not doing much of anything else. I am on Instagram and Twitter, so maybe check me out over there. Thank you for watching this video today, and if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up so that I know. If you haven't already subscribed, I would really appreciate it, and if you are one of my subscribers already, then thank you very much. Please let me know in the comments below what your favorite mascara is, or what your favorite mascara tip might be, because like I said, I kind of live for lashes and I can't really get enough. So anything you've got to throw my way would be very much appreciated also. Until then, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. I hope you have a really great rest of the day. Thanks so much for stopping by. Let me try that again. Oh, that doesn't work.